Welcome. Let me play something for you. Okay. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, everyone. Welcome. How was your day? You are welcome. Welcome on YouTube. Welcome on Instagram. You are welcome. We're going to be streaming live from both places today. Hi, OC18. How are you doing? Welcome. So good to have you here. Thank you for joining us today. We are about to start, and today we are talking about handling relationship with the opposite sex in tertiary institutions. It's always a hot topic any day, right? In any setting. Just a minute. Just enjoy that music for a bit, and then we'll start shortly. Welcome. Okay. So we are talking about handling relationships today in tertiary institutions. Welcome, everybody. So this is Empowered with Counselor B. Here we empower young people with information that's timely for their lives. I love that song. Are you enjoying it too? Okay. Okay. We are going to start right away. So, welcome everybody. So let's talk about, today we are talking about handling relationship with the opposite sex while in tertiary institutions. Now, that could be the university, that could be a polytechnic, that could be a college of education. Basically, how do we handle relationships with the opposite sex? And I also know that it's possible that members of my audience are probably not even in the university yet, but they are probably adolescents, or teenagers already. Just sweating a little before the AC kicks in. Okay, so today we want to talk about how to handle it. We all know that this is the stage where, as in, this is a stage where everyone gets to. Once you begin to mature, you cross 13 years of age, you cross 15 years of age, you cross 16, 17, and you're going. From 13, you notice there are changes in your body as a guy or as a girl. Changes. What happens as we are taught in school? Secondary sex characteristics begin to grow, begin to show up. For the guys, they will have breaking of their voice, they will have hair in their pubic area, for the girls, and of course they also have wet dreams, but for the girls, they would have enlargement of the, or growth of breasts, enlargement of the hip, hair, also growth of hair in the pubic regions and things like that, and it's absolutely normal. And one of the things that happens when we begin to show these characteristics is that people notice us, particularly the opposite sex. So the opposite sex begin to notice, oh, your breast is coming out. Oh, for the guys, hair can begin to grow. Hair can begin to grow on their face, facial hairs and all that. And the girls can begin to notice, oh, his voice is very deep now. I like the way this guy used to talk when he's talking now. His voice is very deep. I like it. So they are getting to this age where changes are happening. The changes are obvious. Everybody can see it. And sometimes it's really beautiful to watch. Now, a bit of a note of caution there is that even though these changes are happening, you must celebrate what you have. Some people will have um, big sized changes, meaning they could have, even though it's very big or very small, whatever the size, you are fine. You are fine. Don't worry and don't be stressed out by the size and wonder why your own is too small or too big in comparison with your peers. You are completely fine. There's nothing wrong with you. Okay, so now we've gotten that out of the way. Now let's talk about handling the relationship. So now boys are noticing you, girls are noticing you. As a guy, girls are noticing you. As a girl, boys are noticing you. You pass and they turn again, they look at you, they take a look at your figure because you are blossoming nicely. The teenage and youth age is the flower stage, the blossoming part. When you plant a crop, begins to grow with a stem, leaves, it gets to a point, it begins to bring out flowers. When it begins to bring out flowers, there's a certain time that the flowers will open up and begin to bud. That is the stage you are in right now. The stage where you are beginning to bud, you are opening up. So you are showing beautiful colors. You are giving out beautiful scents. So everyone is attracted, especially the opposite sex. And it's absolutely normal. It's absolutely normal because that is characteristic of this stage you're in. It's completely normal. Secondly, a lot of things young people will ask at this age is, okay, now I'm in the university, I've gained admission. Okay, at what age should I get into a relationship? So I get that question a lot. At what age should I get into a relationship? And I will ask you, at what age are you mature enough for it? A relationship comes with different things depending on who you are with, and we'll also delve in a little bit into that later on, depending on who you are with. So you are going to ask yourself, am I mature enough for it? Let's say you just gained admission into university and year 100 level, maybe in the polytechnic or in the college of education or university. You just gained admission. Would you want to start, would you like to start your journey and dragging a boy along when you've not even understood yourself first? You've not known yourself, you've not gotten strength, you've not secured a good GPA. Would you like to tag a boy along or tag a girl along? It would be a bit of a burden. It would be a bit of stress for you. Now, whether you like it or not, a relationship impacts your academics, whether you like it or not. Because relationship takes time. When you are done with class, you hang out. The time you're using to hang out, you could have used it to read, you could have used it to plan, you could have used it to clear your schedule for the next day, you could have used it to join study groups. So a relationship actually impacts academics. So you ask yourself, am I mature for this academically? And my academic standards, especially a student that is just coming into school, you've not made any GPA yet. You have no business with a boy or a business with a girl in terms of relationship. I want to have a relationship with you. You have no business with them yet. Why? Because you are still about to get, your footing in school. You are still about to stabilize in school and say, this is who I am in school. I have a CGP of 1.0 or even 3.5 or 5.0. You have no standing yet. So you really do not need a boy or a girl to, attach themselves to you and take away from your time for which you came to school. So you can look at the academic point of view. Am I academically ready for a relationship? And that's why I personally, as a counselor, I wouldn't advise a first year, even second year student to go into a relationship. I wouldn't advise it. And some people would argue and say, it doesn't mean, as far as I read my books, it doesn't mean. But I've seen it happen time and time again, right from when I was in school. And I've been counseling young people for years now, at least for 15 years now. I've been counseling young people. You see them enter with such zeal. I can give you a recent example. And she entered with so much zeal, doing very well. In fact, her first semester result, 4 point something, we're all excited. This girl is brilliant, 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 brilliant. Second semester, oh, 4 point something, brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Of course, guys began to notice her. You know, when you're brilliant too, boys will be noticing you. Guys began to notice her, and she too liked one boy. They started hanging out. After class, they would hang out. They started hanging out. 200 level results. That 4 point something first came down to 3 point something. Because guess what? She did not have enough time for academics. By the time we were talking, she was already struggling with a 2 point something. By the time we are talking now, she's struggling with a 2 point something. Because relationship takes time. It will take your time. Can you afford that time? Or if that time is taken away from your schedule, would you still do well in your academics? Would you still do well? Because that's why you came to school. That's why you came to school. Imagine if if you don't have that guy by your side or that girl, do you think you will do better? Some people say, I need somebody that will be calling me, checking up on me. Have you tried friends, same sex friends, or even opposite people that are opposite sex? Let them just be your friends. Friends, no mingling out this one that everybody will know me with him all through school. No, just be friends. So find healthy relationships around you and just be friends rather. So there's no particular stage. I cannot tell you when you're in year one, start relationship, when you're in year two or year three. I'll just say, are you ready? Are you mature enough for a relationship? A relationship will cost you a lot. It will take your time, it will take your energy, it will take your money, it will take your emotions. Are you ready for that? It's something you must think about, it's something you must plan for so that you don't, overrun yourself. Okay, so if you insist that you must go into a relationship, because I know, even though I do not encourage young people in the university, year one, year two, into relationship, I also know that some people will still not, it won't just work for some people. They'll just be like, I must have somebody calling me. And I must put a caveat there. You don't need to have some guy checking up on you as a girl. It's not compulsory. It does not define you. So don't say, a boy must check on me. A boyfriend must come. Let me tell you a bit of a story. When I was in my first year and I was in this very big hostel. In my room, we were about, let's say 20. We can be more than 20, but let's say 20. In the evenings, in my hostel, I attended a federal school for my first degree. In my hostel, they allow guys to come in to your room to visit you in the evenings. So in my hostel, when it's like, I think it's 7, yes, 7. So when they open the doors for guys will begin to troop in, go into different girls' room. Some will carry chocolate, some will carry flour, some will carry gifts, some will carry food. They'll be trooping in cake, stuff. Me, I'll cook sit down in my corner. Some will come to my room. They will come and visit their girlfriend. Some would. So in my room of about 20 people, only about 3 or 4 of us didn't have boyfriends. The rest, boyfriends were coming to check. They'll come and visit them, drop something, take them out. Some will come out from outside campus. They are not even students. Maybe they are workers or they are from other schools. They'll come and pick them, take them out. The girls will go out, come back, bring stuff. But guess what? We're not moved. We're not moved by all those things. And that's the mentality I want you to have. That you should not be moved whether a boy shows up or not, whether you have a boyfriend or girlfriend. It's not a requirement to enjoy life. No. It's not a requirement for you to excel at your academics, which you went to school for. It's not a requirement. So by all means, do not cage yourself in and say, oh, in my room, I'm the only one that doesn't have a boyfriend. No. Enjoy life. Build friendships. Build healthy friendships with same sex and opposite sex. Healthy friendships. You can be friends. You can be friends with those guys in your class. You can be friends with those guys you hang out with at the cafeteria. You can be friends with those guys that, that are good in one skill or another. You can just be friends. You don't have to, you go out with them and be singled out. Then, so that was the caveat I wanted to put, that you should not be pressured to have a boyfriend just because people have boyfriends. People around you, maybe your friend, your roommates. Don't be pressured. Your own time will come. Don't be pressured to have a boyfriend, a girlfriend. Don't be pressured. So that's the caveat. So now, for those that still insist that, hey, I must go into relationship, this boyfriend I must have, because I know no matter how I talk from today to tomorrow, some people will still go into relationship. And please, if you have any questions, please drop it in the chat. I will pick it up and I would respond to it. So some people will still talk. They will still say, I must have boyfriend. And it is individualistic. So what works for one will not work for another. And no matter what we say for some people, they will still insist on having a boyfriend and go into a relationship. Now, for such people, if you must enter into a relationship, which you may have your reasons for, let me do a checklist for you. Number one, if you must go into a relationship as a boy or as a girl while you are still in the university, number one, make sure it's more than just for facial or bodily features. Make sure it's more than just facial. Oh, he's fine. I like him, he's fine. He has deep voice. When he's talking like this, everywhere will be shaky. Make sure it's more than that. Make sure it's more than his lips are very pink. Some people talk about pink lips. I like him because his lips are pink. How can you like somebody just because of pink lips? What if his character is not pink? So yes, there are things that will attract us, right? But those things a lot of times are not enough to keep us. So let your entry into a relationship should be more than just for bodily features. That, oh, she has very nice shape. The backside, very set. That should not be your main reason for getting into a relationship with somebody. There should be greater reasons. There should be something big, like we have the same values. So I want someone I can build with. There should be bigger things. And this is what I'll recommend for people in like year 3, year 4. You're about to finish year 5. Yes, you can decide to, if you must. Because really, as a counselor, I wouldn't advise it, but just in case, if you must, make sure these are the things you check out for. It's not just because he's fine, she's fine, I like the way he walks. Those things are ephemeral. They are just delicate. They are just shallow. With time, those things will fade away. You don't need it. You don't jump into, attach yourself to somebody's life just because they are fine. It's not enough. There must be bigger things than that. Number 2, in my checklist, if you must enter into a relationship while in school, number 2, define where it's heading to. And I think this is a very big one. Define it. Oh, this boy says he loves you. Oh, this girl says she's willing to date you. Please define where the relationship is headed to. Where is this? You can ask them. You can even ask them from the first day. Don't wait until the 6th date or 10th date. Then they start seeing you that anything goes. No. This boy says he likes you and say, you know what, let's go out. Ask him for what? Why? When? Why are we going out? What's the reason? What's the purpose for our going out? Is it to just hang out, let them know that we are boyfriend and girlfriend? Is it just an identity statement and say, that is my girlfriend or that is my boyfriend? Is it just for, somebody you can be gisting with and all of that? Okay, I'm going to take your question, Emmanuel. Just give me a few minutes. Is it because somebody I can be gisting with, I'll just be telling all my story, all my problem? You can do that with your friends. You don't need boyfriend for that. You can do that with a counselor. You don't need boyfriend for that. Oh, I want somebody that will be touching me. No, you'll be selling yourself cheaply if you begin to allow boys touch you now. You'll be selling yourself cheaply, because guess what? Somebody that will pay very well is coming in the future. Somebody that will pay very well for what you have, for what you carry, for who you are, is coming in the future. So don't let those small boys be touching you for free. No, wait for that person. Is coming. Don't be in a hurry. Okay, before I go to my next point, I'm still on defining why you want to go into that relationship. Let me take this question. It says, is it true that a guy can force a girl to be his girlfriend during opposite sex relationship? Yes, it's possible. A guy can force a girl and say, you must be my girlfriend. Maybe he can threaten her with something. Maybe he knows something that will be embarrassing if other people know it. He can threaten her and say, you know what, you must be my girlfriend. If you don't be my girlfriend, I will tell people. It could be because of that, or it could just be because he likes her. He's a narcissist. He wants to keep her for himself and say, babe, you have to be my friend. And it could threaten her. It could go in different ways, but it's possible that a guy can force a girl to be his girlfriend. Yes. And so it's important that you define it. That's why we're saying define it. So this boy says, I like you. Let's go out. Let's date. Ask him why. Why are you saying so? And that why should be very strong. Let it not just be because I like you. No, because he can like you today, may not like you tomorrow. So it should be a strong reason that you can even bank on. Other people can bank on and say, oh, Kenny is with Faith because of this and this and this. Okay, so it should be something you can bank on. Maybe you are intelligent. Maybe when you talk, you have great conversations. Maybe you have the same values. Maybe you are headed the same way. You want to be your dreams for life are in the same direction. Oh, I want to work in such a place because of such a thing, and you just align. If your dreams align, fine, it's somebody you can go with. But so you should define why. I'm going to answer your question too, Steph. You should define why you are going. You should also define where you are going to, because guess what, some guys are just there to have sex. That's where they are going to. They just want to enter into your pants, that's all. Some guys are just there to have someone they will be showing off. You are just their latest toy. They want to show off and brag with the guys that this girl I win now my babe. Okay, so there are different reasons why a guy will want a girl. So ask him, why are we going on this journey? Where are we going to? It's not hard, it's not bad to ask on the first day. Ask on the first day, where are we going to, guy? Where are we going to? You say you want to, you love me. Where are we going to? Is it marriage? Is it dating for the next 20 years? They are dating and dating and dating has no end. So ask him, where are we going to? You want us to be boyfriend and girlfriend for how long? Define it, because guess what? Your time is precious. Your time is precious. So define your relationship. Now, let me take this question. It says, how do you handle guys that are too pushy? This is what we're talking about. Just define it and say, guy, this is my stand. So, of course, when you are defining the relationship, you already know what you stand for. You can say, I don't take this, I won't take that. Everybody should list their own can take, cannot take. List it and then have a conversation. You can even decide, okay, before we say we want to enter this relationship, you go back home and list what you can take, what you want from this relationship. This other person too, you go back home, list what you can take and what you want from this relationship. Come back, have a conversation in an open place and discuss and say, hey, this is what I want from this relationship. Does it align with yours? Once you can do that, if he does not meet up to what you are talking about, guess what? He'll fade away. He will take a walk. He'll take a walk, because you insist and say, hey, I can't be in a relationship with you just because you like me. Your liking me is not enough, because there'll be days where he's liking you cannot carry you. You need to have a conviction yourself while you're in this relationship. So I see a lot of girls, even in counseling sessions, that they've been with this guy for 3-4 years, and this guy is still dating other girls. And she's like, why is he dating other girls? I asked her, did you define your relationship? Because from the beginning, when you have that conversation, you are saying, in this relationship, we will not date other people. We will stick to each other. It's exclusive. It's just me and you. And it's headed to, say, marriage. If it's not headed to marriage, why are you dating? Because I want to know. Are you just dating just for fun? Are you just dating just to waste time? Are you just dating so that you have a boyfriend, somebody in your corner? No, it's not a good enough reason. Because guess what? If you keep doing, oh, somebody must always be in my corner, it's better to have somebody than to have nobody. It means there's something you need to correct within you. You should be okay by yourself till when it is time. So if you are not ready for marriage, like I did a study one time, life study with young people, teenagers, boys and girls, they were in love with each other, and they were about 17, 18, that age range. So I did a study with them, life study. So I asked the boys, you like this girl? They said, yes, I like this girl, I want to be with her. I said, okay. And I asked him, when do you plan to get married? You're about 18 now. When do you plan to get married? Guess what he said? He said in 7 years time. And I asked the girl separately, when do you want to get married? They are looking at about in 3 years time as they finish school, or at most 4 years time. Now somebody wants to get married in 3 years, the other person that is dating them wants to get married in 7 years. Can it work? No. So they are not meeting up. Somebody is here, another person is here. They can't move well. It won't work. It's already a recipe for disaster. It's a recipe for heartbreak in the future. Already see that our plans do not match. So why are we here? It's not by force. Dating is not by force. Boyfriend girlfriend relationship is not by force. Please learn that and know it for life. It's not by force. You must be ready for it. That's why when it is you are ready, make sure you define your relationship. Where are we going? Why are we here? How long is this relationship going to last? And if it is somebody that will run away, he cannot stay. When you're having that conversation, you can't stay. He will say, I'm coming. He will say, you know what, I don't have that answer now. Let's talk about it later. He's not serious. He's not serious, because relationship will take your time, it will take your emotions, it will take your it's a it can be a life drainer. Because if you keep talking to this person, you build a bond with them. If they are not giving you what you want, you can begin to actually, I don't want to use the word depreciate, but you can begin to feel bad. You can begin to move. You are not yourself anymore. You can't bring the whole of you to the table anymore. And that's why, by all means, define your relationships. Where are we going? Guy, you like me, Abi? Okay. Now you like me. Where are we going with this like? Do you want to marry me? Do you just want to date me? If you want to date me, how long? Is it 1 year? Is it 2 years? Don't follow somebody that say, let's just see how it's going to be going. Let's just see how it will be going. Let's just be following the let's just see how where it will land us. No. Any relationship that is not defined will take you there'll be lots of nonsense there. Lots of nonsense. I remember speaking to somebody, and they have been in a relationship for about 3 or 4 years, and this guy, they started like that. Let's just see how it's going. Let's just see where to take us to. Guess what? The guy, while she is trying to see how to go, the guy kept following other girls, sleeping around with other girls, and she sleeps with only him. What he was going about, because that relationship was not defined from the beginning. Know what you can take, know what you cannot take, by all means, so that you don't get hurt. Don't carry yourself and put yourself into emotional hurt. Okay, so let's take the next question. He or she says, thanks for this session, ma. What age is advisable to date and get married for a lady? Like I said, I won't give you an age. There's no particular age per se. But please be mature before you marry. Be mature before you date. Be mature before you. That's why I said I won't advise a teenager to be in a relationship. I won't advise it for several reasons. Number one, you don't know yourself yet. Your tastes have not matured. You don't know what you like yet. You think you like that guy because you have a crush on him now. Now you are 16, now you are 17, now you are 18, now you are 19. You feel, I have this crush on this guy. I like him. It's this guy. You still don't know your taste yet. And you don't know who you are. You've not come into the fullness of who you are. There are certain things you can take now at 18 that when you are 25, you can't take them from anybody. So you've not grown into yourself yet. So if you are saying you want to enter into a relationship at 17, at 18, at 19, the truth is that you would abuse it. The person abuse you, you would also abuse the person. There will be abuse in that relationship because you've not known yourself yet. You've not known yourself. So I wouldn't say, I can't give a particular age, but at least I can encourage you that at least cross 25 to marry. at least cross 25, at least cross the age of 25. And somebody will say, oh, but that's too much, that's already too late. No, it's not too late. At that point, you are more matured. Your brain has matured more. Go and check, go and read biology on how the brain matures. Your brain has matured better at 25 to handle life challenges. So you have come into, to a good extent, you have come into who you are. You have discovered yourself more. So it's easier at that point for you to, reach out, know this is what I want. So you're able to select what I don't want from what I want. You can select, you can differentiate it. But 17, 18, anything, as far as the boy is fine. Anything as far as the boy is intelligent, anything. And that's why girls will not be abused or boys will be abused either way. Because if both of them get into a relationship, they will abuse each other. They will abuse each other. Some will sit down and lash out at the other person. Some beat the other person. All sorts. Because they've not known who they are. They don't know where they are headed. Come into a fullness of who you are before you enter a relationship, whether it's to date. And for marriage, our advice, at least get to 25. At least get to 25. Your mental processes are matured enough to handle pressures of life, especially adding another person to your life. I think that is very, very, very critical. So I won't give you an age, but maturity. So I said on the checklist, what you should consider before getting to a relationship. Number one, make sure you're going in for more than bodily features. Number two, make sure you define where it is headed. Define where it is headed. Okay, I have another contribution here, question. It says there are people who meet their soulmate in school, and I'm sure they were criticized. Yes. How can you deal with the criticism? Because there are people who are more matured than their age. Yes, I agree. Some people meet their soulmates in school. So yes, I agree. And that's why I'm giving this checklist, that even if you have to go into the relationship while in school, this is a checklist to look at it. So if you are being criticized in school because you're in a relationship, perhaps you want to just look at that relationship and know your strong whys. Once you know your strong whys, hold on to it and move on. Nobody should define your life for you. As far as you know your strong whys. Now, what are your strong whys? Number one, you know yourself enough, you know your choices enough to say, this guy is my choice and I'll stick with him. You've known yourself, come to that point of knowledge that this guy, he's my choice, or this girl, she's my choice. You've made that conscious decision. So if you have made that decision, then of course you should stick by it. Number two, it's very important also that you have a conviction from God as well, because when the chips are down, that's the only person that will be with you. So I also have a conviction from God, from your heart, that God is saying this is the person. Have a very strong conviction. Number three, does this person have your values? Does this person believe in the things you believe? Are people headed in the same direction? If those things are in place, why not? By all means, fire down. And then number four, accountability. Do you have accountability? Meaning, is there somebody that you submit yourselves to? Is there somebody that talks to you guys and say, hey, you guys sit down, let's talk about your relationships. How far? Where are you right now? What are the challenges you're having? What has been your temptations recently? How can we make it better? How can we make life easier for you guys in this relationship? So there must be accountability. Once you have these things in place, it's all right. You move on from criticism, because guess what? If you enter a relationship, people will talk. If you don't enter, people will talk. So if you have your strong whys, it's fine. It's fine. But then again, I also would not, as a counselor, seen a lot to know that it's better you wait until you are matured, and especially not in year one, not in year two. No matter your age range, not in year one, not in year two, because you are trying to build your academic platform. You've not gotten CGPA yet. You have boyfriend. Boyfriend for what? Boyfriend is not the criteria to have 5.0. So why should you have? At least start building your GPA. Start the purpose for which you came to school. Start have a good degree to get knowledge, good knowledge, quality knowledge. So at least get that first before we can now begin to talk about boyfriend. Have a good GPA, have good relationships, enjoy life, explore life. have friends, hang out with your friends and all that. So as much as possible, I wouldn't encourage it, but if it comes to that, if you are really really convinced you have your strong whys, why not go ahead, but make sure your checklist is in place. Make sure your checklist is in place. Okay, my third checklist, after more than facials or bodily features, define where your relationship is headed. Number three, make sure it's a relationship you can communicate and express yourself well. I once counseled a young girl, she's still in school, but she was dating an older guy who was working, and she said she cannot tell him her mind. So even though she likes him, he's rich, he's comfortable, he can marry if he decides to. But she can't say her mind. So if he says we are going to Lekki now, guess what? She will just carry a bag and follow. She cannot tell him, guy, but I told you I have a lecture by 2 o'clock, so I need to go back to school. She can't say her mind. She can't express herself. And that's a big challenge. So make sure you're in a relationship where you can express yourself, where you can communicate your heart. You can say, this is how I feel right now. Or when you said that to me, I felt bad. Or you know what? Why don't we plan to do this? There should be good communication. You should be able to talk to each other and good feedback. If that feedback is not there, if you're not able to even say your mind, you are in a wrong relationship. You are in the wrong relationship. So one of the things I asked that girl, I said, if you marry this guy now, can you ask him for school fees for your children? And she was looking, she said, I have not thought of that too. I said, okay, can you ask him for bros, I want to pay for this, or darling, I want to pay for this. And she was like, I've not thought of it. I said, but you need to think of it. Can you stay with this person for life? Somebody you cannot say your mind to. You cannot express yourself freely. If it's around, you have to comport yourself. You have to, no, you should be free. One of the things the Bible says is that perfect love casts away fear. If there's love there should be no fear. There should be freedom. There should be liberty to express yourself. So by all means, make sure to check that this relationship is a healthy one. You should be able to communicate and express yourself well, both for you and for your partner. Your partner should be able to express and communicate himself well. You as a girl, you should be able to express and communicate yourself well. Communicate what you are saying well. Another number 4 on my checklist is set boundaries. If you are insisting you must have relationship on campus, set boundaries. What are the things we can do? What are the things we cannot do? Set boundaries. Dr. Miles Monroe of blessed memory said, if the purpose of a thing is not known, abuse is inevitable. That means if you don't define what something is for, if there is no purpose, reason, you cannot overcome abuse. There will always be abuse. There will always be abuse. I've seen girls that sat in a relationship where a boy constantly talks down on them. You say you are not fine. I don't know why I'm even in a relationship with you. Don't you see your leg? Don't you see? And she will still come and sit with him the next day. She will still go and send him recharge card. She will still cook and bring to his room. And you'll be wondering, is she okay with yourself? And be healed of low self-esteem first. Some people are in relationships where they beat them, where they slap them. That's what gave rise to this domestic abuse the society is dealing with today. Because some girls, they were in a relationship with this guy, the guy will slap them. They will say, maybe I'm the one that talk too much. Maybe it's my mouth. Hey, I'm talking too much. Let me stop talking too much. Or some say, I'm the one that provoked him. Maybe I shouldn't have gone there. And all of that. But the truth is that you should not be with someone that does not build you up. If you're in a relationship, one of the purpose of your relationship is to build you up, to be a better person. So if your relationship is not building you up, you have no business there, because two are supposed to be better than one. So if you're in a relationship, your relationship should build you up. It shouldn't bring you down. It shouldn't make you smaller. It should build you up. It should open you to opportunities for you to get better, to get bigger, to be a great person. And that's what your relationship should achieve in your life. And I think that's very, very, very key. And I really pray that young girls, that you all get it today and every time, so that in any relationship you find yourself, you will not be blown away by his fine. You will not be blown away by, I like the way he used to talk. That's not enough. That's not enough. That's not enough. Okay. And it's possible. I had that talk with some young people today. I said it's possible for you to have a relationship where you will not kiss. It's a boundary. In this relationship, we will not have sex. It's a boundary. It's a boundary. In this relationship, we'll say the truth always. You are setting a boundary. We will not lie to each other. We won't deceive each other. We will always say the truth. We will not lie. In this relationship, we'll be ourselves. No pretending, no forming. Those are boundaries you set. In this relationship, we will not hang out in dark places. Yes, it's a boundary you set. In this relationship, we will not be alone in a room. Only me and you will be alone and the door is closed. Those are boundaries you can set. Okay, let me take this question. It says, Matt, there are guys who can't express themselves well, probably because of their last relationship, or his shy or quiet personality. So how can you both work together to build communication? Great question. If there's this guy that you like, or you're in a relationship with, and for some reason they're not able to express themselves, there are many ways to express yourself now. They can send text message. They can't face, because some people, they fear confrontation. They don't like talk back to me straight to my face, eyeball to eyeball. Some people are shy like that, and it's fine as far as it does not affect their daily life, right? So if this is the case, fine, tell him, what of using text messages, what of sending you a WhatsApp message, what of sending, you can communicate through pictures, you can communicate, and just encourage him to be more, to come out more, say your mind more, right? Encourage him to speak up, encourage him to explore different communications to get to you. You can even write it in a paper and pass it to you. Some people are shy like that. And that's another thing you must check. Am I able to cope with this for life? In case if he continues like this, am I able to cope with this for life? And that's also part of what I said. You must check, you must define and check where you are going to. So even though he's shy, he can also explore other ways of communication, like sending text messages, sending WhatsApp messages, writing. He can write you a letter. Writing a letter is communication. He can write you a letter. He can write you a letter, okay? So let's go back to our boundaries, setting boundaries question. It's important you set boundaries. Girls, don't go into relationship and sell yourself cheap. Please, I beg you. I beg you. Don't go into a relationship and start giving what married men are, or married women are giving married men. No. Has he paid anything? Why are you giving him free? Why are you giving him free? You are the one short changing yourself. When you give them free, what they should pay for, who goes to market and will pay for what is free? If you get to a place and they say, oh, we are doing promo on this thing, it's free, everybody take, will you go and say, no, I want to pay for it? No. You will collect free too and say, it's free, I collect my own. That's the same way. When a girl will allow a boy to begin to touch her, some will say, hey, we did not have sex, he just used to touch my breast, or he just used to kiss me and touch all my neck. He's touching for free. And you know the amazing thing, we cannot undo them, because you are not a computer. You're not a computer. We cannot undo kissing. We cannot undo touching. We cannot undo sex. Once it has been done, it has been done. The knowledge is there. The memory is there. The feelings are there. So once you have done, it cannot be undone. So that's why you must set boundaries. There are things we will not do in this relationship. Very, very, very important. Very important. So set boundaries. As if you must enter into a relationship on campus, make sure, and this goes for even outside campus, as you grow in life. Set boundaries for your relationship. So my number 5 point, accountability. If you must get into relationship, make sure you have accountability. What do I mean by accountability? Someone that will sit you guys down and say, come here, what did you say? What did you say happened today? Oh, he talked to you that way. Okay, sit down, two of you, let me talk to you. This is not the way you address a girl. This is not the way you address a guy. Somebody that will correct. You may say, oh, we don't want anybody in a relationship, we want to, it's just me and him, me and her. You don't know it all. It could be a counselor, it could be a parent, it could be a parent, yes. And I would always encourage young people, please do not hide your relationships from your parents. Do not hide it. Tell them, mommy, I'm in a relationship with this guy. They may shout, they may shake everywhere, but tell them. If you feel your parents cannot take it, tell another matured individual in your family, maybe an auntie, an uncle. If there's no one like that, tell a counselor, maybe counselor of your school. Tell a counselor, hey, I'm in a relationship with this guy. Don't hide it. Secret relationship always brings problem, because anything that is light, we come to the light, to the open, where everybody can see. It's things that are bad, they hide. So once you see somebody is dealing with you with secret and saying, don't tell anybody, it's just me and you, there's problem. That means there's going to be abuse in the future. There's problem. So by all means, make sure let it be a relationship that comes out to the light, to the open. Everybody can see that this guy is in a relationship with this girl. If you're in a fellowship, let your fellowship pastor know, I'm in a relationship with this girl. And because one of the things accountability does for relationships, it strengthens relationship. How does it strengthen relationship? Because I know Kenneth is with Faith, right? If I see Kenneth with another person, guess what I will do? I will call Kenneth. Kenneth, why am I seeing you with this girl? I thought you are with Faith. Why? Because I know that both of them are in a relationship. But what if Kenneth and Faith did not come to meet me and say, hey, we are in a relationship? I wouldn't know. So accountability is so good. It's so good for your relationship. In fact, you cannot do without accountability if you want to have a healthy relationship. Accountability is such that somebody can sit that guy down or sit that girl down and say, what you did today is wrong. Don't do it again. That's bad habits. Or perhaps you're having feelings of, hey, I want to have sex with her, I want to have sex with him. You can talk to that accountability partner and say, you know what, I'm feeling this way. Every time this guy comes around me, I feel like I should grab him. It's a feeling. Yes, it's possible. Oh, every time this girl comes to me, it's like I should just grab her breast, I should just grab her bum bum. I feel this way. And it's a valid feeling. You actually felt that way. You felt that way. You are not lying. Now, when you tell an accountability partner that, we will now look at the triggers. Oh, what was happening then when this happened? Or what happened just before? We can look at the triggers. We can decide to teach you how to remove those triggers, or find a way to make sure even if those triggers are there, you're unable to have sex with that person. So, for example, if some young people come to me and say, hey, hello ma, we are having this, we really want to have sex, it's just entering our body, we are so in love with each other, it seems like we cannot wait anymore. I will tell them, one of the things I will tell them is, where do you meet? Where do you see yourselves? How often do you see yourselves? And I want to know the circumstances. And one of my counsel to them will be that, make sure you always meet in open places. Meet on the streets where everybody is gathered. Meet there on the streets. I'm not talking of a lonely street in the night. No, I'm saying meet daytime. Especially if that feeling is so heavy on you. Meet in open places. Meet in open places. Don't share nudes. Don't snap nude picture of yourself and send to him or send to her. No. Meet in open places. This is not the time, because you are feeling so revved up. This is not the time for you to wear something that will expose your breast, or something very tight that will show the shape of your bum. No, this is not the time. That's when you start wearing Maria Maka. You know, the one they call, the dresses they call Maria Maka. That means very, very big and loose clothing. That's the time to wear it. And if you must meet, make sure you meet in open places where many people are. No closed door meeting. In fact, don't even meet closed door. Once you know you're in love with somebody, don't meet in a place where the door can be closed or the door is closed, because that's a sure way to tempt yourselves. Okay, so once you can be accountable to somebody, accountability will help your relationship to a great deal. If you want a healthy relationship, you must have accountability. Look for someone you can be accountable to, both of you, so that you can have a healthy relationship. That will just bring checks and balances. It will just bring checks and balances into your relationship. Okay, so that's my number 5 point. Now let's go to number 6. Since you said you must have relationship in school, which I do not advise. Number 6, be mindful of the impact it has on your academics, because that's the reason you are there. If you're in a relationship with this guy and your GPA is dropping, wisdom demands that you cut off. Wisdom demands that you say, is like, it's okay, we have tried. I like you, I don't hate you, but at this point, I need to prioritize my education. So we are not going to hang out for a while. I need to focus on my academics, on my education. That's absolutely fine. There's nothing wrong with that. And say, you know what, I will just want to focus on my academics. Can we give ourselves a 6 months break and define it and say, you know what, in these 6 months, if you like, if you find somebody else you're in love with, it's okay, it's fine by me. I don't have a problem. But if you have a problem with it, also talk about it. Now, in this 6 months break we want to take, don't follow another girl or don't follow another guy. If that's your choice, discuss it, agree. If there's an agreement, work with it. But by all means, be mindful of the impact a relationship is having on your academics, and create allowance for it. If you still want to go on with that relationship, create allowance. What do I mean? If you know you still want to stay in that relationship, that means you are going to be reading more. You're going to maybe be doing overnight reading. You are probably going to be doing midnight reading. You'll be reading more to cover up for the time your relationship takes. You probably will have study groups. You probably have to reduce the number of times you meet with this guy. You guys gist and hang out. You have to reduce that to concentrate on your academics. But be mindful of the impact on your academics, because relationship takes time. Relationship takes emotions out of you. Relationship takes money. Relationship also takes, it also differentiates you from the crowd. So it gives you an identity. Be sure that is what you want before you get into it. And like I said, as a counselor, I would not advise it if you are still in the university. Why don't you finish? And finish with a very good grade. Then you can begin to look out. But that does not mean while you're in school, your eyes are closed. No, let your eyes be open so that you can be scouting. I like what that guy does. I like how that guy answers questions. I think that guy is brilliant. He's also kind. Oh, he also loves God. Additional plus. You can begin to take notes, but not that you get into relationship if you can, by all means, if you can. It's not by force. I wouldn't force it on you, but by all means, make sure you are getting into a relationship, putting things in place. You must have a checklist. Now, let's run through the checklist before we go. Again, if you must enter into a relationship while you are still in the university, this is the checklist I have for you. Number 1, enter into a relationship for reasons more than bodily features. So you let your why be strong, let your reasons be strong, like values, like you are going to the same place, like you are aligned. Number 1, more than facial or bodily features. Number 2, define from the first day where your relationship is going, where that relationship is going. Are we going to get married, or we are just hanging out? We just like to hang out, that's all. You just want to hang out. Some people have hung out for 15 years. I've met somebody like that. They were hanging out for 15 years and they still did not marry. We were just hanging out every year. Every year, everybody knows them together. Sometimes they even wear and co. They still did not marry after everything. So go define your relationship. Number three, we discussed is that you should be able to communicate and express yourself well. So that's one of the markers to check if you should enter into a relationship while in school. You should be able to communicate and express yourself well in that relationship. Number number four, set boundaries. You set boundaries for your relationship so that you are not just boundless, just running around, wasting time, doing all sorts, exchanging what you should not exchange, casting your pearls before swines. You don't need that in your life. You usually come with a lot of heartbreak. If you don't have boundaries, just know heartbreak is setting. Heartbreak will be setting because there are certain things. If you don't have boundaries, people will push you beyond your limits, and you end up with things that you did not plan for. Number five, I said accountability. If you must be in a relationship, make sure there's somebody you're accountable to. And number six, if you must be in a relationship while you're in school, number six on my checklist is be mindful of the impact on your academics. If your academics is going down, it's time to pull away, or it's time to reevaluate your relationship so that you do not spoil your academic experience. So that's it for today. Thank you everyone for joining me. I'm so glad to have you here. I enjoyed your company. For all those that joined, some asked questions. I sincerely appreciate you. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time. I appreciate you doing this with me today. God bless you. I'll see you next week with another interesting session on Empowered with Counselor B. Feel free to always send in your questions. I'm here to answer. I'm here to encourage you on this journey. And I can trust by the grace of God that you will make it. Your future will be bright in Jesus' name. So thank you so much. See you next week, 9 p.m. on Tuesday with Counselor B. God bless you. Bye for now. Bye. Thank you. Thank you, Cutie. Thank you, Victoria. Thank you, Peace. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Thank you.